Frequent mistakes that lead to FATCA non-compliance and risk the loss of a GIIN. The first phase of FATCA compliance entails implementing detailed enhanced due diligence and client documentation procedures, which require a thorough understanding of FATCA's complex regulations. Pre-existing accounts are treated differently from new accounts. Balance thresholds can be applied, but only under certain conditions. A foreign financial institution can choose to use IRS certification forms or local equivalents to document their clients. In other words, a number of alternatives have to be considered and then implemented as appropriate. These are some of the more frequent mistakes made by participating FFIs, which have resulted in significant non-compliance and costly remediation. The first, mostly FFIs have understood clearly the need to identify and document in FATCA all their U.S. person account holders. However, a great number of FFIs have not understood that it is equally as important in FATCA to document your non-U.S. account holders, as this provides evidence that the required due diligence has taken place. Remember that in FATCA, an undocumented account is a recalcitrant account, whether it is owned by a U.S. person or not. The FATCA regulation exempts pre-existing entity accounts under a $250,000 aggregated threshold from due diligence and documentation. This is the second example of mistakes that FFIs typically make. This exemption only applies to pre-existing accounts, and numerous FFIs have mistakenly applied this exemption to new entity accounts. That is not correct. The third example is about something we mentioned earlier, the use of local equivalents. Now, there is a regulation surrounding the use of local equivalents, and it states that these local equivalents need to include the full FATCA certification. That is the statement signed by the client confirming that they're not a U.S. person. Those are only 3 examples, and there are many more, but when you verify your institution's FATCA compliance program, remember that your FATCA due diligence and documentation needs to be verifiable. So if you don't document your client accounts, you don't document the FATCA indicia and the resolution that you find, you really cannot certify as to your FATCA compliance. At Foodman CPAs and Advisors, we can provide you with online support through our FATCA help desk and assist you with the correct interpretation of the FATCA regulation. Thank you.